of course, I believe that it's generally expected that after Russia has become the member of the World Trade Organization last year, that the mutual exchange in the field of business will grow. As for the labor market, the labor productivity in Slovakia is quite high. The employees are also said to be highly qualified, therefore there are quite a few foreign investors coming to Slovakia. One of the advantages for the investors is that the average wage is lower than the wages in neighboring countries. Unfortunately, the unemployment rate is still quite high, it's 13.5%, but it varies from region to region. There are many traditional links between Slovakia and Russia. Most of these links are some transport corridors. Like in 1960s, there were built those classical pipelines, oil pipeline and gas pipeline. And of course also the Danube River crosses Slovakia as it crosses 10 countries of Europe before it flows into the Black Sea. So if this project comes through, it should be 450 kilometers track through the territory of Slovakia and 60 kilometers in Austria. There should be a main terminal in Vienna and a couple of more terminals in Slovakia. This would be a really large project which should give 11,000 working places and should cost about 6.5 billion euros, which is a lot of money, of course. But on the other hand, it shall reduce the transportation time from Russia to Europe from 30 to 1/2 to 14 days. Shortly about some other projects. For example, the shipyards in Komárno. I understood that these shipyards had built over the last years about 60% of the boats which are still sailing on the Russian rivers. So there might be a place for potential investment in further production and reparation of the boats. Then the renewable energy sources, this is a long story. I mean, there is a general urgent need for diversification of Slovakia's energy sources. Last but not least issue is mainly for potential for Russian investors, the fact that there is still quite big amount of people who speak Russian, and the country is a good combination of European and Slavic culture. So in case you would like to do some business in Slovakia, I would like to focus your attention to the simplest way of setting up a business, and that's establishment of the so-called limited liability company. This company can be basically established during a very short visit to Slovakia or even on the basis of the power of attorney. The registered capital required by the law is fixed is 5,000 euro, though until October it can be still only a figure in the bookkeeping, but from October it should be really deposited on the bank account.
Concerning purchase agreement, of course, what is recommended is the purchaser pays the purchase price to the escrow account, kept by the escrow agent. That means either the notary or the bank or the lawyer, and the escrow agent shall release the purchase price, the first part after the registration of the new owner into the land register, of course without any burden. Second part upon receipt of handover protocol. A third part after the payment of the transfer tax, because the real estate transfer tax is 4% of the selling price of the officially assessed value. But what's important is that the seller has to pay. Nevertheless, the purchaser is the guarantor. That's why we propose this. Yeah, this is of course very important. It's not sufficient only to sign the purchase agreement. The purchase agreement has to be registered with the land register. And what's interesting is that the property transfer takes effect not on the day of the decision of the Czech administration, but on the day of the submission of the purchase agreement to the land register, retroactively. Yeah, concerning leases, just to say that pursuant to Czech law, the regulation is different for non-residential premises and residential premises, and we have no register of lease agreements, both non-residential or residential. So now in Russian. V časti, которая касается сделок с недвижимостью, я подчеркну то, что сегодня уже нет никаких ограничений для иностранцев, желающих приобрести недвижимость в České republice, независимо от того, являются они гражданами Евросоюза или нет. При совершении покупки my обычно проверяем все необходимые документы, регистрацию в кадастре, страховку, полномочия продавца и так далее. С целью обеспечения безопасности покупателя используется услуга так называемой банковской ячейки или депозитного счета нотариуса или адвоката. И на этот счет покупатель переводит сумму стоимости недвижимости, и эта сумма выплаты недвижимости производится после выполнения условий, во-первых, после регистрации покупателя в реестре, вторая часть после действительной передачи недвижимости и третья часть после оплаты налога на перевод недвижимости. Concerning individuals, so the situation is the same. Also, foreign individuals may establish a Czech company or join an already existing company without being required to obtain a visa. But of course, if they want to become the executive, for example, of a limited liability company, it's necessary to have a visa, or of course, it's necessary to have a visa if this foreign individual who is not a citizen of an EU country, the application has to be filed at the Czech embassy abroad. And what's interesting is the fact that the applicant is obliged to file the application at the Czech embassy in the state of which he is a citizen. That means a Russian citizen has to apply at the Czech embassy in Russia. Of course, along with the application, the applicant must submit. You can see the list of documents, for example, proof of accommodation, document on the purpose of stay, proof of funds. U nich jest fakticky dvě возможности: или купить, или основать компанию, или купить уже существующую компанию, или zaregistrovat představitelstvo. Однако, прежде чем стать представителем českой компании или представительства иностранного юрлица, надо приобрести долгосрочную визу. Это касается только иностранцев, которые не являются гражданами Евросоюза. И чтобы приобрести долгосрочную визу, надо предъявить českým orgánům все необходимые документы, например, свидетельство о проживании, документ, подтверждающий цель пребывания и так далее. Спасибо за ваше внимание.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Agnes Balasha. I'm a partner of the law firm, of the Hungarian member law firm of DEFA. And as the last speaker of the last seminar, I will be fighting for your attention very hard. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't begin my presentation with a lie. Hungary is not doing very well. As one of the European Union's most problematic sites, Hungary struggles with serious economic difficulties. But still, Hungary is a member of the European Union since 2004 and is a Schengen country since 2007 and has a completely EU-conform legal system So as such, Hungary has a lot to offer to Russian investors. We try to pique your interest for some topics as well that our neighbors or any other EU member state wouldn't offer to you, such as buying a Hungarian residence permit for 250,000 euro and getting the right for free movement within the whole Schengen area. So here are the highlights of my presentation. So I will begin with this interesting topic, what is a Hungarian residence permit good for and how to get it. So after that I will guide you through the basics, how to invest in Hungary, the corporate legal framework in Hungary. So next I will show you that holding company structures with Hungarian holding companies can be a competitive alternative to real offshore structures. And I will conclude my presentation with a very advantageous taxation system in Hungary and royalties. So let's begin with this interesting topic of the Hungarian residence permit. So what is this all about? The Hungarian government tries to support its liquidity by quite some methods, among these by inviting third country citizens to invest in Hungarian state bonds. So this is a very new opportunity introduced only a couple of months ago for non-EU citizens to gain Hungarian residence permit by investing 250,000 euros in Hungarian state bonds through a special authorized issuer. There are no additional costs, no additional commitments, and this means for you 5 years of residence, not only for you, but also for your close relatives in Hungary, and with this, the right of free movement within the whole Schengen area.